all my life is like my work life, is intersection of AI, education, and of course mathematics. But today we'll speak about mathematics a little, but the most important here, AI, intersection with education. So now it's era of intersection of education more than we maybe wanted initially, So from my teacher's perspective, it's maybe in some cases I want less AI education, in some cases more. So I will start with some questions, like individual questions to our guests, and then maybe one question for all of you. So let's start with Professor Alexei Miasnikov. We've been working together on AI for math education last several years, and also before we discussed a lot this topic. So we know each other maybe 20 years, in person, And so my first question is, where do you see AI making the biggest real impact in how we teach and learn complex subjects like mathematics? So it's concentrated around mathematics. My question, you can now concentrate on mathematics. So the question is, what is the real biggest AI impact here in learning, teaching, education, etc.?
I think it will be a huge impact in terms in how we teach sort of math education, like calculus or high school, and also how we teach high-level mathematics. And for high-level mathematics, the graduate university, the main point is that mathematics changes a lot. So right now, it's not enough just to know mathematics, because what appears now, it's like experimental mathematics, like experimental physics some years ago when Large Hadron Colliders and so on. So it will be different type of math, a lot of experimental, and of course AI. So we have to teach differently. So it will be, you need to know kind of engineering or craft of math. You need to know a lot of about AI, machine learning, reinforcement learning, all these things, and how to apply it. So we need all these courses differently. And it's not just AI's abstract course, but how to use it, for example, in algebra or topology. It's completely different. Second thing is, I think...
So you think it will be in future other courses than now, yeah? Right. In mathematics curriculum.
Yeah, absolutely. And standard classical mathematics changes a lot from my viewpoint. It's really different types of problems. Before was algorithms for some math problem, say word problem in groups or something. Now you need to find it's kind of to solve something for most inputs or discrete optimization. Right now, important thing will be, that's one side, another side to find something really difficult or rare examples, so problems of the type finding a needle in a haystack. For example, Max was talking today about producing materials, and using math, you reduce it, he said, through chaotic behavior to huge unstructured search spaces. I think a lot of mathematics will be about structure, geometry, topology, and so on, search spaces. It will be a completely different type of algorithmic complexity, not what we know now, it's completely different. So it's very interesting. This part about, too much, but about high-level math or what mathematicians will be doing. I'm one of those who thinks mathematicians will have more jobs, not less jobs. So before, just few people have...
Alexei is a AI optimist, yes?
Yes, I am.
The most optimistic optimist I know.
But, of course, right now, we have programs which solve mathematical Olympiads problem or Putnam competition. It's kind of undergraduate university level. Now recent results about on graduate levels. But what will be, it's one-man labs. You don't need to have a lot of programmers. You can be yourself with all the tools, but you have to know much more than mathematicians know now. So I think it's just great. on mass level, I think that's where AI was misunderstood a lot. So 3 years ago, it was some people liked AI, like ChatGPT will solve everything. Another part said ChatGPT is just toxic, should never be shown to students. So for 3 years, people don't know what to do. Nothing interesting appeared. And now there are interesting developments. For example, Khan Academy, I don't know, there is such thing in the United States. They have a lot of data. And they were famous AI tutor. And they abandoned it 3 days ago because it's not useful. And it cannot be useful like that. Because it's not what they think. Teaching is not just answering a question. If you know how to ask proper question, you're already 70% done with your education in the subject. So it's not about this. On the other hand, a week ago, Gates Foundation invested 55 million to one of the collaborators of Nebius, Carnegie Mellon University. 55 million to build platform for Calculus 1. I was impressed, just for Calculus 1. And they are right. If you look what they want to do, it's not just good chat, smart chat. No, it's how you would like to guide students properly like a good tutor, how to guide through the subject. So it's a lot of different things. It's not answering questions or even giving solutions step by step. So it's much. So this is a good moment now. So anyway, that's how I see it. I think it will be in two years. Will be a lot of such things.
So, like, small additional questions for 2 minutes, okay? Yeah. So, what still doesn't work well with AI in education today? So, what like their most important points here?
I think, especially in math, there is zero tolerance to mistakes. There is zero, which is much more harder, zero tolerance.
Real zero, yeah. Real zero. Like,
and
computational zero.
Even worse, mistakes in logic when they explain improperly. And big thing, I think people expect too much from AI that we know now how it should help. So when it will be a little bit more relaxed, sort of think about it. It's very useful, but not how quite often people think to use it.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, let's switch to Professor Cees. Yeah, and let's zoom out from math to the broader university perspective. Now we discussed with Alexei only math here, so mathematics and that's all. Yeah. So. Cees, is AI changing how students learn, how universities teach, or both? Yeah, so like not only about math.
Absolutely. So I think there are many dimensions to this question. I think the first one is that students are very clever. They are using all the AI tools to do their homework, to do assignments, to write reports.
Young and smart, yeah.
So, that is a challenge for the universities to rethink how they examine, right? So that means personal interaction.
And are you in process of this changing?
We are in
how do
this change? So that will come. So that it will really fundamentally change how we grade and how we.
Now, do you have any like current changes, like this semester, for example?
So more oral exams. Right, because then if you have interaction, then you really can sort of like you know when a student knows the topic. So, but it's then the time of the lecture becomes the bottleneck because that takes a lot of time. So, but we have to.
And do you have still homeworks this semester? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The second thing is how AI is changing the university landscape. I think is that AI will soon be the tool for any science. So also for any student needs to be able to use AI to innovate, whether it's biology, math, astrophysics.
So like courses like AI in biology, AI in astrophysics, AI in physics.
AI will be sort of like what math has always been, is that right? So every program has a math course. Every program will also have an AI course, and maybe more of them. And the third one that I want to emphasize, and that is a very challenging one for universities, is that today's AI is especially powerful at scale, right? There is where the emerging abilities pop up and where the excitement is. Universities are not well equipped to do AI education and AI research at large scale. So that's why I'm so happy with Nebius in Amsterdam. So maybe we can join forces on that dimension.
It would be great. Thank you. So next question. I have time for next question. Yeah. So tell us about Amsterdam AI and what role should ecosystems like Amsterdam AI play in shaping this transformation? And maybe like part of you here don't know about Amsterdam AI, so you can tell about it here.
Yeah, so Amsterdam AI is sort of like the local AI ecosystem in Amsterdam, or at least that we are trying to organize.
Only Amsterdam?
It's the larger Amsterdam region. There are 7 hubs like this in the Netherlands, in different regions, and we are the hub for Amsterdam, so to say. We have several partners, mostly knowledge institutions. So we have the universities that are in Amsterdam, the Free University, the University of Amsterdam, but also the Polytechnic University. We have the academic hospital, the National Cancer Center, the municipality, the blood bank, and also the Amsterdam Economic Board. So I think it is important that all these parties who are sort of like also competing in terms of getting students and getting grants join forces. Because if we join forces, we increase the cake, so to say, right? And that is, I think, takes time, but we are working on it. We're making good progress. So we have now very good connection with all the knowledge institutes and the hospitals. What we still need to establish is a very good connection with all the businesses in Amsterdam.
And for example, Nebius...
Of course, and we're already in talks. That's how we got connected, actually, with Daan. But the challenge for discussing with all the companies in Amsterdam is that they are not united themselves. So it is every company you have to have one-on-one relationship, and we're trying to also sort of like get that a bit united too. But that is, we need help from the companies themselves also. And Nebius is a very good example. Process is another example. Adyen is an example. We have many big companies in the AI space here. So I think together we can really build something. And I think it is especially good for talent if they have an opportunity after the university to work at Nebius, and then after a while move to Process if they think that is better for their career. So there is choice that people can rotate, and then at some point maybe they come up with an idea. They think, oh, I can do this company myself. I start a startup. Yeah. And then we have a thriving ecosystem. So that is sort of like the longer perspective, but we're working on it.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah. So now let's switch to more practical point of view. Yeah. Can I say that it's a practical point of view?
Fair.
Yeah, to Elise. It's like moving from academia to building actual learning products like this. Yeah. So my first question: if you could redesign education from scratch with AI, let's decide. We agree with this. Yeah. What would it look like?
Ooh,
you can dream. Yeah. So no problem. Yeah.
So I feel like I would do 2 things. First, I would actually redesign what we're teaching, because in the age of AI, a lot of what we're teaching doesn't make sense anymore. Do you really need to know how to do, I'm going to be hated by the rest of the panelists, but calculus by every single student in K-12 in America? I don't know. Do you really need to know the depths of how to differentiate physics equations? I'm not sure.
Yes, I'm sure that
everyone. I'm on a panel with math professors, but you need to think about what are we as humans bringing to the table, and it's things like creativity and curiosity and that driving need to tinker and go to that next level. And so part of that is actually playing up a lot of these durable skills or soft skills that make us innately humans. And how do we foster those such that as AI gets better and better at a lot of this science and technology and math, we're still able to contribute to the economy. The second piece is, let's say we decide every student still needs to learn calculus. as decided by this panel today. It's about how do we make that the most engaging and easy way to learn that knowledge possible. And that's not going to be a textbook. It's not going to be the same for every person. It's going to be knowing where every student is and figuring out what do they need reinforced on that learning process and how do they like to learn. And of course, adding variety and being very practical and hands-on during that learning journey. So I feel like there's two dimensions to it, yeah.
Okay, and is there like a real tension between traditional universities and AI-driven learning products? Do you see?
Not really. I feel like, honestly...
Not yet, yeah.
I feel like universities are offering, at least in America, I'm going to speak from as an American on this panel. I know a lot of y'all are European here, but in America, the whole point of a higher education is to have this certificate that you can think about things at this high level, at this different way than you can in K-12, that you can take one problem and look at it from multiple approaches. And that's kind of the promise of liberal arts, is how do you break down problems and think them through? So I could still see universities being amazing at doing that, whereas AI education products are really good at helping people who are already in the workforce, who already have the university education, evolve and keep up and stay on point with where the industry is. And just so we're all on the same page, higher ed is going to be one of the biggest clients for ed tech in the future. So it'll be a partnership more than a competition space, I think.
Great, thank you so much. So now questions for all of you. I mean, 1, 2, 3, you can answer. We have enough time, so I will ask several questions. First question is about students. So there are two, in this AI education, there are two the most important parts: how we learn and how we teach, yeah? So let's start with learning. And the question is, how should students compete in a world where the AI learns faster than they do? So, let's now become students for some moment here, so some time, and try to think how students could be more compatible. Yeah. So,
for students to compete, of course, they should learn AI, but also it's up to them, and it's good that you can be involved much earlier now, not waiting for internships as usual, but much earlier. You can see where you would be interested yourself how to apply into real life problems, and it's not
in school. Yeah, you mean what age? You mean any age? Yeah.
For example, to our lab, there are students coming from high schools now.
Yeah.
It's great. It depends on a person. So if you are active, if you have some interests, I think it's a great time. You're competing. Still, you compete with people, right? Other people using AI. So it's still hybrid in a sense. So it's really good for active people.
So you with your AI compete with people with another AI like this.
Yes, and you can also specialize very quickly in what you're interested really, and pick what kind of AI you would like to have, or it will be also different AI, for example. Okay, anyway, so I think it's really good for active students who want to do something.
Okay, so the most important idea was here early specialization, yeah, like this, yeah. It was
it could be doing research, doing interesting thing earlier.
Mm-hmm. Okay, like early specialization. Okay, Cees.
Yeah, I wish I was a student now, because I think it's actually a great time to study because of AI, and I think so because AI is transformative. So it is not only a cool tool for a computer scientist, but it will really impact all of society. So that means that if you are a student and you have a bit broader societal perspective, with AI, you can now innovate basically in any topic, right? So whether it's the law, whether it's humanities, whether it is history, everywhere AI will play a role. You can also study sort of like what will it mean for society, future of work, what does it mean for democracy, our social structures. So I think that is super exciting, and that really requires also the human factor in the discussion. So there is no fear that AI will take that all away from students.
So it's like about like variety of different specialization in some sense.
Yeah, you can do so
Alex,
much.
It's all like early specialization. From your perspective, is like variety of specializations. Okay, Elise.
Yeah, and I would double down on both of those. I would, like, if I was a student today, I would be diving into some niche topic. So I know that there's a lot of teachers in high schools who are handing loads of data to their students and being like, hey, we have this problem of, let's say, crime rates in Philadelphia or water usage in California, and how do we help solve these problems and lobby our local government to actually create laws that will make these problems better. So they have to collect, here's a bunch of disparate data sets, and how do we analyze that, and how do we put it into a pitch that is motivational enough or convincing enough to make the civil leaders actually make changes based on that data. So again, I feel like it's early specialization, it's a wider variety of specializations, but it's all coming back to durable skills of like, how do you convince another human to make this change? And so it's all of those things wrapped together.
But maybe it's something about soft skills. So in the past, we maybe didn't need to develop so much soft skills. We, for example, were mathematicians. So why do we need to develop soft skills? Here, we can just write our theorems, proofs, yeah. But now it seems from your explanations that it's important to develop soft skills much more than in the past. Am I right? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, soft skills is just one of the names, right? It used to be called 21st century skills, and then it was soft skills, and now it's durable skills. And so it's just, I mean, it keeps getting rebranded.
Like communication skills. I mean, soft skills, I just mean like communication skills, like leadership skills. So not to be so introverted as we used to.
Yeah.
I think it's important. You can see it now. For example, if you have in your application to a position, say 5 years ago, papers with co-authors, it would be nice to have at least one paper on your own, right?
In the past, you mean?
In the past.
Okay.
Now, if it's even in math, I'm not talking about physics or computer science, where the whole lab is sort of co-authors, which is nice. But in math, it's on average it's 3. So imagine if you will have
I don't need, for example, now co-authors because I have ChatGPT Pro.
Precisely, but even more, what I think, it will be a lot of small specialized LLMs. You're not going to talk to ChatGPT because, so it will be for particular topics that you're interested in, will be small, very well trained for this thing LLM. So you pick your professor and LLM. So competition is not with ChatGPT, which seems like difficult, right? But with all these things. So it's skills to communicate with everyone now. You need to communicate with other teams. You need to collaborate, know how to collaborate, sort of lab way, which is a social skill, really.
Okay, so now we know something about future students, yeah? So early specialization, variety of specializations, like communication skills, a lot of new opportunities, but a lot of maybe new things to do. Yeah. Okay. From another point of view is teaching. So what does it mean to teach effectively in a world where AI can generate answers instantly? So let's discuss teaching in this time. Yeah. Alexei?
That's a problem. That's I think why AI or some teaching platforms are not used. I said something, but there is a big part on the teacher's side, professor side. Professors, maybe strangely, but they're extremely conservative in how they teach. If you think about it, it's just amazing. Like teaching, how they were taught. So that's, they think, the best way. So they're reluctant to use software. They're reluctant to use new system. Most of them. For example, there is active learning sort of system. It requires different type of teachers that you can go to the class and be social, It's not lecture. You turn down back to the class and put some strange letters. So that's what big problem. So teachers are conservative, quite conservative in terms of how they do education. But it's a big problem. It's as we just discussed, teachers should be very social now, different type of skills. For example, you're a mathematician or a computer science geek, you can't do it. So it's completely different types of teaching. So AI can help. That's actually another way.
AI can help in content, yeah?
Content and socializing.
Really?
That's what I think. Yeah.
To speak instead of teachers?
No, it should be as a helper. So chatting with teachers, chatting to students during the class, it kind of workshop style can help. I don't know. I think it will be.
I kind of agree on the social aspect. So I'm teaching a lot, obviously, myself, and creating the exam or creating the exercises, I don't find the best part of my teaching job or grading them. What I actually enjoy the most is the interaction with the individual students.
Like motivation, leadership.
Having discussion, inspiring them, explaining to them, sort of like getting the sparkle inside. And maybe we get more time for this thanks to AI. And that would be a great benefit, that we don't have to do all these stupid administrative things, because that can be automated. And we have time again for what really matters in higher education. And that is the mentoring and the one-to-one interaction. So I hope we get more of this back.
By the way, I completely agree with Cees that, so now the most important role of teacher, lecturer, like in any stage, like elementary school, university level, any level, like mentorship of postdocs, like anything, is some like motivation, leadership, communication, inspiration, like showing your energy and some like exchanging energy. I mean, like it's important really, and AI couldn't do it, I hope. Yeah.
But we can.
But all these boring things could be like given by AI.
Precisely as Cees was saying, outsource routine things to computers or AI, and you will have time and lectures to discuss conceptual.
But you have to like it. To like this, like energetically. So if you don't like it, if you're ready to just want to give them information and that's all, it's not like modern, like professor, future professor. Elise, what do you think?
So I taught in K-12 in middle school and high school mostly. So, I mean, I definitely empathize with the teachers being conservative in higher education. But in K-12, there's a lot of teachers who are constantly experimenting. I want to try this with my students. I want to try that. And so to me, AI helps actually open the door for even more of that experimentation and basically turning educators into basically mini researchers. How do I convert this into a more interactive modality? How do I engage with my students one-on-one, going back to the whole actually talking and communicating with your students? But I see this as a tool to really speed up that innovation that's happening in these kind of micro laboratories, aka classrooms, all across the country or countries.
What do you think, Elise, about like future of, I don't know, elementary school, like grade 3, kids of the age 9, for example? In 5 years, what will they like study like in this grade 3?
Oh,
Not 5 years, 10 years. Let's imagine, yeah.
I mean, grade 3, I feel like they're still going to be learning their multiplication and long division and all of that. But I think it's going to look a lot different because AI will. So, for example, right now, if you walk into a grade classroom, there's one teacher and let's say 30 students. And there's a teacher at the board who's trying to do a question, and they're probably trying to make it interactive by having them do a worksheet and walking around, and maybe they're in groups. But in 5-10 years' time, if they're really proficient at AI, they have all of this data on their students. They're able to actually pre-generate a bunch of different stations so that they can match the level of the activity with the group of students. And all of a sudden, instead of every student getting the same activity, they actually have leveled activities. And that differentiation is powered by AI. The fact that it can take 20 minutes to generate those different activities targeted at where all the students are as opposed to multiple hours.
So like different tracks, it's also important in any stage, yeah? So like this individualization, yeah, of course, sure. Okay, so next, maybe final question. What does university education actually give today? And will it remain relevant in an AI-first world? So let's discuss about the future of university education. Alexei, you're like, we start from like most optimistical person. Yeah. Are you optimist also in this future of universities?
I think it will be extremely important, but university will change for sure. It will be competition on the level.
Will several universities die because they?
I think yes. It's right now it's competition for students, but it will be university will provide products like credits. So you are in one university but taking course at another university and get credits, and it should be counted. So it will be available. So it will be market for credits, I believe. So it's a big change. Universities will be much more flexible in their curriculum, should be easily adjustable and kind of very flexible in terms of what they...
First degree, bachelor degree will be how many years? 2 months?
I don't know. It's,
2 months of soft skills.
I think it will be a lot of online things, but university, on the other hand, it's nice years when you not only study and learn something, but when you
About community, yeah?
about community, you making friendships which last for you making if you're in business, for example, it's connections. It's a lot of things. So university life still is very important. I believe it. So making 2 months instead of 3 years, it's Europe students.
I'm joking, of course, but like, yeah.
In any case, I think it will be really different, but again, it's like active universities will be doing extremely well, and those who are trying to be as usual, they will be hard time, I think.
So, do you think that we'll have like a smaller number of universities in future, like some reducing?
I think a lot of courses will be taken online, not necessarily from universities. For example, if Google will do some, or Nebius will
Nebius, not Google.
Nebius
Academy,
yeah.
no.
Nebius AI, for example, course, which is some of them are already great. So why not to take it there and count your credits at your university and do something which is this university is really good about. So I think it will be sort of specialization of universities, and you don't need to take calculus at university because you can do it during the high school if you need. So a lot of things will be not calculus, but everything is discretization now. It's discrete math, linear algebra, statistics, machine learning, sort of data science. So these courses you can take early. It's not very difficult.
Maybe like there is individual number of years. I mean, like for some students, it's they start in like high school and maybe like graduate from university in 1 year after school and different. Yeah, so you.
Yeah, I think it could be. For example, at Stevens, we have really good students from Brooklyn Tech, say, school, that they already had linear algebra, calculus, some other courses. We count them, so they have 1 year less than the usual. So it will be a tendency because you can get a lot of online really good courses. So why come to Stevens, say, pay a lot of money and do some strange, easy things instead of doing sort of second level sort of courses? I don't know. I think it will be a lot different for different students. Will be different path, which I like really. If you are really good and if you would like to go fast, you go. If you would like to stay at university, enjoy student's life, and do whatever you do as a student, you can stay longer. It's I don't know.
You mean bars, etc. Okay. Okay, Kees, what do you think about like future of universities?
Yeah, I disagree with my.
Oh, great.
So I think there will remain an important role for the university. We have to adapt to the new circumstances, but the university will remain. The most important role for a university, in my view, is not to teach calculus or to teach AI or to teach history. It is to educate critical people and leadership, and that's what society will need. Maybe even more so.
This will change, yeah.
Maybe
So
even more so in time.
so like less like professional
change in
courses and
society.
more like
Yeah.
soft skills courses. Yeah. So you mean yes?
Critical thinking
Critical
and
thinking.
being able to learn new stuff when you want multiple perspectives. So I think there is a crucial role for the university moving forward.
One thing, I don't think that there will be less role for universities. I think it will be more. I just think that competition will be much stronger, and some universities will be, I don't know, disappearing. But others, for example, through online AI, they will be much larger, virtually larger. So, and the role I think will be just more important. So I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope.
So in like 10 years, like let's consider some average student of like, I don't know, faculty of history. Still exists, yeah? Faculty of history in 10 years. How many years this student will like learn and what are like the curriculum? Just like some draft of idea. What do you think? In 10 years?
Well, I think using LLMs to analyze sources and also to imagine what things would have been back then, to use LLMs to generate scenarios and then to use their own knowledge to say, oh yeah, that is likely, that is unlikely, or to use generative AI to create images of long gone artifacts, right? So I think it is actually very useful and can be very enriching in the repertoire of tools to sort of like get their research and their findings across. So I think it's a great opportunity for historians, actually.
Yeah, great. I completely agree. So it's very interesting. I just like, and how many years? Still 3, 4?
Yeah, these people are a bit slow in adopting.
Okay. Okay, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, Elise.
So I think we're going to actually see a divergence in the way universities approach this, because if you aren't familiar with the university landscape, they kind of have different outcomes they're trying to get at. Some are trying to produce basically PhD students. Some are trying to produce like job-ready graduates, and some are trying to literally produce people who are in a job today. So I feel like we're going to start to see both the kind of liberal arts, critical thinking, universities like your Harvards, your Yales, like all of those, get more and more steeped in that of how do we shape an entire person's way of thinking in this very human way so that they can think about things in a complex way in this age of AI. And the more job ready, like trying to prepare someone for industry, are going to be kind of more what, Alexei was saying about like, we're going to figure out what skills they need. They can pull skills in from high school, from other universities. Once they have all the skills, they're ready to get a job, and we'll send them on their way. And so I could actually see universities kind of diverging in the paths they go, and it'll kind of be interesting which universities call out like, hey, we're going to nurture the whole human, and you're going to be here for 4 years because that's how long it takes to bake a human into a real critical thinker. And the others are going to be like, nope, we're just trying to churn out, I don't know, programmers who can do Java at this level and they can get jobs tomorrow. And then those will probably be shorter programs just in terms of like years spent.
Yeah, I see. So I just like mentioned that there are several questions here. Do we have time to answer? So I just like have 2 minutes. Yeah, okay. So I'll just like ask several questions. The most interesting. Question to Elise. You said maybe we don't really need to teach calculus deeply. Don't you think that such basics like calculus develop students' abilities to think, understand statements, proofs, how to be formal and precise, and so on? So, like,
I mean,
it was like example, no?
Yeah, I mean, it was an example, but just like for person who asked this, like actually the U.S. changes their standards regularly, so I missed proofs and got to college without ever having to write an actual proof, which was a really fun experience. And so I actually learned my like rigorous logical thinking through my computer science course. So I know that we're like chess and math and CS are always, there's so many different ways to learn different ways of thinking. So I don't think you need to subject everyone to all of them. I feel like we need to be like, this is the way of thinking and choose your own adventure to how to get there.
One more question about homework. So how should the homework look like in the AI era? Yeah. You can like answer, yeah. I know.
No,
I know who asked.
I know the answer first.
But I know who asked you.
So it's interesting, it's changing. I think sort of 3 years ago, if you say that I suggested at Stevens, let's get rid of homeworks as we know them. We don't want to grade them because no point. Students are just taking ChatGPT, putting the answers, so what the point to grade them. So 2 years ago, it was immediate no. Our administration said, no, how come? Last year, I suggested, they said, okay, let's switch the whole university. So it seems like starting this September, we will not have grading homeworks as usual. It will be different system, which I think much better. And it's important to use AI for this system. So it's sort of, there is a still practice at home. You don't grade it. They don't submit it. But the software sort of learns, makes assessment, recommends what to do, and all grades will be quizzes every week in classes using computers, and you can do it now safely, and some midterm finals also using computers. So no grading. So next semester, the whole university switches, and no grading for professors, which I really like. It's
so
kind of.
Our time is over. So, like, just like key takeaways. AI not replacing education, yeah, but reshaping it. And we don't know yet how, but we have several like ideas headed here. And we absolutely sure that more personalization, more practice, faster feedback loops, communications, like soft skills, etc. So we like agreed about this. Okay, great. Thank you so much. For me, it was very interesting. I don't know how for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.